What's up, guys? It's been a while and welcome back. I want to give a 20-hour review on the AGT MX50R 2024. I've put this machine to very hard use. I've demoed a full mobile home with it. I've excavated massive mountain roads. I've thrown the tracks off them 3 times. I've broken the thumb. So I've put this machine to the test, and overall, I'm still really happy with it. Obviously, when you're doing a lot of this work and tracks fall off, and you do wish you had something a little bit more durable, but at the end of the day, a $10,000 machine, this thing does really good, and it's already paid for itself. I've had it for about 4 months now and put it to heavy use. So yeah, let me show you a couple items on it that I've had to make repairs to, and we'll go from there. Here's the hydraulic thumb. The bracket that connects in the frame cracked. So one of my buddies was able to weld that piece of steel solid, and that fixed it. So what happens, you can see how the thumb is bent. When you pull things sideways, the metal bends or it snaps. So right now we've beefed up that bracket, so now the thumb just bends, but that's okay. That thumb is very handy. These tracks have fallen off of me multiple times. It's only when I'm on very steep terrain. So I think most people using these don't live in very gnarly terrain or aren't operating this in gnarly terrain, but they have come off a few times. So I start carrying a pry bar and adjustable wrench, and these tracks actually go back on really quick. The exhaust fell off. There's a flex pipe coming off the head, so you can see it has like a spring clamp. So the one below, I've had to install a new hose clamp and then put in new bolts because both of those rattled out. And what happened when the exhaust falls off, it will burn the side of the machine, and the fuel line is right under there. After 20 hours, the engine would die and you could barely get the machine back home. What I found out was at high elevation, I'm at 8,000 feet, the air filter gets dirty and it can no longer run. So you have to replace that air filter. It's located right inside of here. I just ordered 2 off Amazon. For the meantime, you could just blow it out with an air hose. 2 different times, the throttle would not go to the full position. It would sit about 3/4. There is a lock nut inside of there, so you have to thread lock it, pull this panel off, thread lock that nut, and then this way the throttle will stay at 100%. All right, check it out. This is the project I've been working on for the last couple weeks. This road is about 1 mile long, and I've gotten about 100 yards. So what I'm doing is I'm digging a ditch with the excavator on the high side of the mountain. We do have some culverts. This way the water can run into the culverts and then cross the road to the bottom side. This is a very steep and treacherous road, but this is the proper way to do it. You need a ditch. So you can see I got to this point. This is where I leave my crescent wrench, my pry bar, in case the track falls off. And this is what the upper side of the mountain looks like. It looks like when they originally built this road that they did have a ditch here, but it hasn't been maintained in over 10 years. So what I'm doing, I'm digging this all out, and right around that bend, there's another culvert. So this is the original that's not dug out. Then here's where I'm digging out. We do have a lot of rock, but you just got to do what you can. So here's the machine. It's going to get a workout today. Let's run through another tank of gas and I'll get some footage. All right, guys, I'm done for the day. Just came through, smoothed it out. Ditch is looking pretty good. My only problem with this Titan grader attachment is I cannot crown the road. It's just made for flat grading. So it looks like at Ritchie Brothers auction, they sell a grader attachment, which you can angle the cutting edge. Because if you look, this road is fairly flat and you want a crown in the middle so water can run off this side and it can run off that side. I'd like to get a grader. I just passed one up. I probably could have got it for $5,000. I'm kind of ticked off I didn't. But you can get the attachments for 2,500 bucks. So we'll see. If a grader pops up, I'll get it. I mean, you could get them for about 10 grand and about 2,000 for shipping. If you get lucky, you can find one for 5 grand. But either way, this turned out pretty good. I'm happy with it. Not bad for a first pass. You know, probably once a year I should go through and just kind of make sure this is working. You can hear how hot this equipment gets up here. But yeah, roads looking pretty good. Got a storm coming in. Head back to the house and go grab a bite. All right, that was a nice full day of work. 7 a.m. this morning, I got a call. There was a flood at one of my buildings down in the city. Rushed in, called the mitigation company, back up to the house about noon, working on the road. The mini excavator held up well, the Bobcat held up well. I'm gonna continue that road tomorrow. I'm about 50% done with the road, so I'm just gonna keep at it. Hopefully I can get this done before winter. I'm gonna have to get another piece of equipment. It's gonna be a grader or a grader attachment for this Bobcat. You really have to put a crown in the road if you want it to last a long time. This way the water's not kind of washing out across the road and on each side. Other than that, that's it for this video. I'll catch you on the next one.